All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another week. I had that I had that little halfway through video that I did in the car, on Easter Day. It took me a week to get it uploaded. It was completely ridiculous. Um, but I don't really have anything to talk about today. Um, before we go anywhere, for anybody that's new, that doesn't know what the hell's going on here, uh, I'm Nicodemus Kane. And this channel used to be pretty much video game commentaries until I, until I came to the Lord, until I got slapped in the face with reality, and I said, you know what, I would want to do just some things where we just sit down and talk because I'm like every other truther in the world is once you see the truth of the world, you try to open up other people's eyes to it because that's all you can do. Because it's just it's it's not so much that it's this completely amazing thing once you see the truth. It's that once you know that there is a lie, you really need to try to open other people's eyes. So that's what I wanted to do with these. I always preface everything by saying you don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to go along with anything I say. Uh, I don't get very many view counts on these, which means either I'm doing something wrong or people just don't care, and or I could be shadow banned too. It just depends. I don't know. I don't think I use too much random conspiracy triggers for the algorithm to be able to shadow ban me, but you never know. I never had very much of a viewer count on YouTube anyways, so there you go. But I've been doing these now for, oh boy, about 4 or 5 months, maybe, give or take. Probably less. I don't know. I haven't kept a count. I haven't kept a record of it. I just sit down and talk. That's what we do. We talk because I'm trying to figure this stuff out as we go. I came into this whole I came into the truth movement in a weird way, and then I came into knowing God and knowing Christ in a weird way. And I said, if I can help somebody else see it the way that I see it, then let's do it. Let's try to open somebody's mind. Let's try to open this up. So we just sit here and talk. Sometimes I actually have a full a full roadmap of where I want to go with this. Sometimes I don't. Today I don't. It's been a long week for me. I feel like I've been running nonstop since last Sunday. Last Sunday being Easter, taking my mother to the hospital, and then having to run out there and then run back up to her house, which is an hour and a half away, and then having to run back, and it just seems like all I've done is just run nonstop. So I really don't have anything set up for this week. I have things written down, but going over my notes and just the way that I feel today, it's just kind of like, you know what? I just want to talk, man. I just want to talk. So the biggest thing right now is just trying to figure out how to wake people up, man. Cuz I look around and I see the stuff that's happening in the world. Um we are slowly moving towards this end. This this very dystopian, very sick, demented end the world is heading. People's attitudes towards life are just getting worse and worse, and our government seems to be caring less and less. Especially the American government just seems to be caring less and less. Um, it seems that a lot of other countries' governments seem to be caring less and less about them, from what I understand. Um, and we're just slowly spiraling towards this black pilled future. Uh, Black pilled meaning, you take the blue pill to stay in this paradise that you think is real. You take the red pill to find the truth, and you take the black pill to find the truth and find out that you can't fix anything, so you just give up on it. That's black pilled. The way that I understand being black pilled. Um, I don't. I am definitely red pilled. I don't consider myself black pilled, uh, but there are times where it just feels like people just aren't listening. It's just not. We're not getting through to anybody. No one's really getting through to anybody. I I hear about guys all the time saying, "Oh, well, there's all these people that are waking up. We're actually waking people up. People are opening their eyes all the time and seeing this." And I look around and I'm like, "Man, if people are waking up, they're keeping pretty quiet about it. I'm not seeing it. I really am not seeing it. There's only so many people that are really waking up to this mess of a world, and it just it just looks like it falls apart more and more. And I look around at I look around at the people that I work with. I look around at the people that are driving on the roads, and I look around at the people that are out and about in the world, and I'm just like, these people aren't waking up. These people are just falling into it. They're just going along with it. They just think everything's fine. They think that all they have to do is just get up in the morning and go to their job and make their fake money and live their fake lives and get their Instagram followers and their Twitter followers and their spread their lives on YouTube, not YouTube. You hear me? Facebook. Yikes. Spread their lives on Facebook, and try to get their Facebook likes and all this stuff, and then go out on the weekends and get their hair did and go out to the bar and all this stuff. It's just like these people aren't waking up. These people don't care. They don't care. Nobody cares. I think it's just that within itself is just a crime. It's a shame. It really is. It blows my mind sometimes. It really does that people just don't stop and see it. That no matter who you vote for, they're not fixing anything. They come out and they put a pretty spin on this stuff, and in the background they are making laws and making rules that are just there to they're just there to enslave you in the end. It's just there to hurt you. It's just absolutely crazy. And then the people underneath them are just as bad. And I'm not even getting into just the beliefs of some of these people, because the belief systems of some of these people are just as scary. They're okay. When I was a teenager, when I was a kid, there used to be a decent set of morals that we used to follow. We got those morals usually from Christianity. We had our 10 commandments and we were taught our 10 commandments. And that we followed those, and we're told, this is just, it's a moral standard that we are supposed to have and we're supposed to follow. And that just gets you through life. And we used to follow that, and I understood that, even though I didn't choose to believe in Christianity at the time, that there was still this moral code, and I thought that everybody kind of followed that moral code. I wouldn't have even thought that there was some kind of alternative plans behind these people. I would hear people that would complain about, oh, well, such and such is doing this now, such and such in the government is doing this now, and this guy's getting caught. And, I would think, okay, well, then they're just getting caught. That guy got caught, and that guy got sent to jail, and, whatever, there it is. And you just kind of went along with that because you thought that there was some kind of decency to the world. You'd follow along with that. And the older I got, the more I found out that there was nothing happening to these people. They would get caught doing this thing. They might go to a resort club prison for all of a month or a year, if that, and they'd get out and they'd go right back into politics. Most of them, or some of them, would just disappear with a yearly paycheck, the same that they used to have whenever they got kicked out. And if nobody sees if there's something wrong with that, then I mean, what? It just boggles my mind. It really boggles my mind. You've got these like career politicians that have been in DC that are making these plans for us. These guys have been politicians for 30, 40, 50 years. Hey, seriously, Kissinger still is in there running the world. That represents a problem because those are long term. These are long term guys that have these long term plans. And that's just not the way that a democratic society is supposed to be. And no, Kissinger isn't doing anything in America, but he moved over into the UN. And when you take more than 5 seconds to look into what the UN is trying to do to the world, you're just like, holy hell, man! What? And I know everything that they do and say sounds good on paper. When you hear about all this stuff that the United Nations wants to do with the world, and you hear about, oh well, we just want to make a better place for people and all this stuff. It sounds great on paper. It really does. But then you hear about who are behind these people, what these people behind them, what their agendas are, and then you put that together with the other stuff that we know that people over the years have been saying, look, there are these shadow societies that you need to watch out for. There is a government behind the government. There are things happening behind the scenes that you have to open your eyes to. When you hear about these things and the first thought on it is like, oh yeah, that's just, that's nothing. That's just some more conspiracy nonsense that nobody really believes in and all this stuff. And then you take more than 5 seconds to look into it. You actually go out there and use the internet the way that it was originally intended, and you take more than 5 minutes to look something up just past Wikipedia, and you find out that these people are right. That there is this overlying agenda that just doesn't make any sense. There are maps of the future societies of the United States. I don't know if there's future maps of the world. There might be, but I know there's maps of the United States where they have herded everybody into these gigantic megacities. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but if you want to prove me wrong, go find them. Seriously, go find these maps. They're out there. I've seen several of them now, and they all look exactly the same. And that's what they want. They want to herd everybody into these mega cities, these smart cities, these 5G grid cities where everybody is treated like an animal, and where where nobody has to worry about working because robots do everything now, and everybody has this universal income, and where everything is given to you by your government, and you basically don't have any kind of freedom. You may think you have freedom in that. You may think might be able to have this utopia of the world where you don't have to work and you can go do whatever you want to, and you get this allowance, this yearly allowance, and you can just kind of live your life. But that's not freedom. That's really truly not freedom. You are beholden to somebody to give you money for nothing, and you when you give into those kind of regulations have rules. And when they give you those kind of rules, they can pretty much give you whatever rules they wish to give you. Um, Worst case examples would be, well, if you want to get your yearly income, then you can't speak up against anything you see, and you may be in a position where you see the worst of the worst, where you may see something that just absolutely boggles your mind. Just the worst of the worst of the worst, and it may be something where it was something that happened. Maybe something on the news just happened to leak through, or maybe somebody witnesses at something terrible that happened weren't they saw something different than what the media says, and of course you can't speak out on it because that's what they tell you to do, and you'll have to carry that, and you won't be able to speak up against it. It's this tear down of this free speech, which free speech makes free people. I don't see how people don't understand that concept. That free speech allows you to be free. If you have the ability to say what you need to say, then you are able to point out the flaws of the world. Now people now think that oh, we have plenty of free speech. We can say what we need to say, and we're doing this and doing that. But I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear that. When this guy over here is using his free speech in the wrong way. I don't want to hear what he's saying. So we need to shut him down. That means that you're using your free speech to kill somebody else's free speech. And that's where you start running into this tyrannical dictatorship, these problems. I mean, it really boggles my mind. It really truly does. People don't understand. I've heard from enough people in the world, uh, especially the ones that just have no clue what they're talking about. I've heard from enough people in the world that have said, I don't want to hear what they're saying. I don't want to listen to what they're saying. I think they should be silenced. I've heard that before. And when you hear it from enough people and you see where that majority goes, and you understand that if you shut down any one person's ability to speak up, then you wind up shooting yourself in the foot. Because if there's someone sitting there yelling and screaming that something bad is coming, and you say, I don't want to listen to that, shut that down, and then when that bad thing comes, then what's going to happen? Or even worse than that, if someone says something you don't want to hear, and you and your majority shut that person down, Who's to say that some other majority above you doesn't like what you're saying? You may say, I'm trying to use a good example here because because right now people think that silencing others is just getting rid of something bad. Um, I approach it from the people that are really being shut down right now are the people that are trying to just spread the truth. I mean, I'm not even talking about like racists or bigots or the guys that go out there and just shout just the most absurd crap. I'm just talking about truthers, people that are just trying to get the truth out, that are just trying to say, look, the government does not work for you. Look, this is all falling apart. Look, we need to do something better than this. That's what they're doing. That's what people are doing. They're trying to shut down these guys that are just trying to help. Under the guise that this hurts people, that boggles my mind too. It's amazing how the narrative has been moved to a point to where the term conspiracy theorist is a dirty word. Dirty word to the point to where people just don't want to hear it, and I've seen proof of that. I've seen plenty of proof of that. If you even remotely say anything about anything, everybody's just kind of like, nah, he's just a conspiracy theorist. Don't listen to him. My Facebook is a perfect example of that. Where I stopped using Facebook because towards the end, which is like about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, towards the end, I was telling the truth. I said, look, shit's going downhill. You need to wake up. There are things happening and all this, and I just started seeing friends just drop. People just stopped caring. They loved it whenever I'd post something nice and pretty, and I'd say all that nice festive stuff that they want to hear, but when you started speaking the truth, nobody'd listen to it. And you started people going away and dropping. And it's just like, wow, okay, whatever then, Facebook is just ridiculous. So I stopped. I stopped using it. And I still don't use it the way that I used to use it. I really just don't care about Facebook. And just recently, I said, you know what? I'm on Twitter a lot because Twitter is still, you can find truthers on Twitter. You can still find truth on Twitter. I got Instagram, but I don't ever use it. And honestly, I've moved off of Instagram because seeing pictures of other people's lives just doesn't matter to me anymore. Uh, and that makes you seem like a jerk. It does. It's like, oh man, you just don't care about other people. You don't want to see their lives. That's their lives. That's their lives. Why would I want to go on and see pictures of other people's lives? I can live my own life. I'm trying to. I'm glad that this person had a baby and they like to take pictures of it. I'm glad that this person went to a restaurant and wants to take a picture of their food. I'm glad that something special happened to them and they did that and they want to show the world, hey, that's great. But and I used to use mine to take pictures of video games and toys. Seriously, that's what I used to do. Oh, look at this new toy I bought. I used to be part of that, but now it's like, whatever, man. But I'd see all this stuff on Twitter, and I've been called to start telling the truth, to start putting this stuff out there, to say, hey, look, we need to start opening our eyes because something's happening here. So I started posting stuff on Twitter, and I said, you know what? I'll cross post it to Facebook because whatever. I'm not really reading Facebook anymore, so let's just take this from this and move it over here, and it'll be a thing. And I've kind of unfortunately gotten drawn into this whole thing where I'm posting onto Facebook more and more. These thoughts that I'm having on Twitter, I'm kind of posting on Facebook, and it's all true stuff. Like I said, it's nothing crazy. And there was nobody seeing it. Really, nobody seeing it. Nobody cared. And you're just kind of like, okay, that's different. And then I posted something positive, just something about coming to God, and I bought my first Bible and some other stuff, and I posted that, and then suddenly, magically, out of the blue, everybody loved it. It's like the the first post, nobody gave a shit, and this post, it's like 10, 12 people came out of the woodwork. It's like, oh, good job. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, you know. Maybe there was something to that before where like I said, people only want to hear the good stuff, not the bad stuff. Because I thought for a long time that I just lost so many friends that people just didn't care. So I said, okay, people are hearing what I have to say. So then I posted some truth again. Sure enough, nothing. I think it was nothing to the point that I actually had one person come back on me, really negative you know because she thought I was just being a little too. She thought I was being a little too dark and disturbing about it, and I was like, I'm just trying to tell the truth here. If you want to talk about the truth, we'll talk about the truth. So then I said, okay, we'll do a test. And I did one more cutesy little post, a happy little thing. Let's see what happened. And sure enough, they all came back out. Now, I don't know if that's Facebook doing its thing, shadow banning posts, or if that's just people that are actually seeing it and not doing it. Now, both ways is just scary as hell because that means that people are seeing the truth. They just don't want to hear it. They just move right on past. And that's what we're living in, man. That's what we're living in. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Everybody wants to be happy and secure in their bullshit. And the YouTube views on these videos proves it too. When I first started this, when I first started just sitting here just talking like this, I could see that people would come and look and they would check it out. I was also talking about very specific things. I wasn't really like going into a lot of stuff, and but people were wanting to come and check it out and see, and now it's dropped. And again, I don't know if that's if they're being if the algorithms on YouTube are getting rid of that, or if people just don't care anymore. I've lost several subscribers over the past couple months just because I've started really preaching the truth. It's crazy, and I'm not going to stop talking. I can't stop talking about it. I'm going to keep going. You can't be afraid to speak the truth, no matter how messed up people think it is. It's just ridiculous. But if you choose to silence somebody else's free speech, it will eventually come and bite you on the ass. It definitely will. And if you choose to ignore the writings on the wall of just how messed up this world is becoming, it will eventually come and bite you on the ass. There's no two ways about that. It's going to come around. It's going to hurt us all in the end. We're all subject to this. We really are, and it just boggles my mind. It's just getting so bad. It's getting so bad out there. it gets bad to the point that I pray every day, more and more. I pray every day, and I have faith that the Lord will get us through this. I get scared because I don't feel I can wake up enough people by the time that it happens. Because it's going to happen. It's going to come. It's going to happen. Whatever it is, it's coming. And it's going to hit us like a ton of bricks. Sooner or later, it's all going to blow up, and everybody's going to wonder how it happened. And there's just going to be a lot of truthers that are going to be sitting back right before they grab their right before they grab their go bags and leave for the woods. Right before they do that, the truthers are just going to look at it and say, "Told you so." Or maybe it won't. Maybe they'll just slowly but surely pull us into it. You know, slowly but surely pull you into something that you won't even worry about what happens. You'll be too busy doing something else, and they just won't tell you the truth because you don't know what's going on the other side of the country. We really don't know. The only way that we know what's happening in like California is because that the news tells us what's going on in California. You know, I can't tell you what's going on in Ohio. I live in Indiana. I don't know what's going on in Ohio. The only way I would know what's happening, 200 miles away is if I either go there or somebody tells me. So you just don't know. And if the media blacks out that information, then you wouldn't know. So and to put that into some kind of context, if somebody decides to blow something up, do something stupid, you would never know unless they told you. And the worst part about that is that they don't have to tell you anymore. They don't have to tell you the truth anymore. They could say, "Well, this and this happened," even though it didn't happen. But this and this happened, see, we need to watch out now. It's like they don't have to tell you the truth anymore because you believe it. Because you choose to believe it. Because everybody thinks that the news is real now. It's absolutely not. It's I've watched mainstream news within the past year or two, man, and it is a joke. It absolutely is. You try to tell everybody about you try to tell everybody that news channels it's all coming from the same source, and people laugh in your face. It's like, no, man, the news is real. They wouldn't lie to us. Okay, you believe whatever you want, man. It's the news has been lying to you ever since television was invented. That's what television was invented for. Was used to manipulate people. Man, I haven't even gotten into like the evil behind it either. I'm just this is just surface level. I'm just scratching. I, you know, and it is too. It, and again, nobody listens. Nobody cares. People are just going about their lives. Go get your hair did. Go get you. Go get your rocks off. Go watch your. Go watch your. Go watch your concerts and go do your pills. Go do your drugs. Go take your cruises. Go take your vacations. Go enjoy yourselves. They want you to believe that you've only got one life anyway. So you might as well live it to the fullest, right? What was the YOLO? You only live once. That's what they want you to believe. I don't see that anymore. I move that out. It was starting to get close to my beard. I never in a million years would have ever expected to be sitting here talking like this because I used to be just like everybody else. You know, once you believe what people say, once you kind of go along with the story, and it's like, oh, well, just we're just all going to die anyways. There's nothing to it. There's nothing real, out there. It's all just some big bang nonsense, and just go for it. Here, go try this. It's great. Go live this way. It's great. Go do this. Go do that. I used to be a part of that. I don't know how many times I've said this now. I used to be a part of that. I used to be a part of that system where it was like, just don't worry about it. Just go live your life to the fullest. Whatever. You can go get drunk, have sex with as many women as possible. Go do this, go do that. Just don't worry about it. Just live your life. Don't try to calculate when you're going to die because it's just going to happen anyways. And when you die, you're probably just going to fade into nothing. There's nothing there. Either that or you'll get lucky enough to come back and you get to do it again, even though you won't remember your past life, all that kind of stuff. And never in a million years would I be sitting here saying, no, God is real. Everything you have heard in your life about how this was made and what they tell you and what it actually is, it's not real. It's all bullshit. Everything they taught you in school, everything they taught you about life, everything they taught you and still tell you is not real. And that God is real. He made this for a reason. He made you for a reason. And there is a true evil that's on this world. There's something out there that wants to destroy us, to flat out kill us, and will do whatever is possible to take away our freedoms, take away our health, take away our lives, and they want to do it in the worst way possible. And once you get that down, that there is an evil in the world that just wants to hurt us, and then you start understanding that, and then it just gets worse from there because it's like no matter how evil you think it is on the surface, it's even worse behind closed doors. And I've seen a lot of videos, especially lately. I don't know how it snuck back into my YouTube playlist about how evil Hollywood is. You hear me? How evil Hollywood is, and how evil the music business is. The things that they do behind closed doors, and you've got plenty of witnesses that will tell you, about these weird sex parties. And you have plenty of people that will point out this pedophilia ring that's happening. And you have these survivors, these SRA survivors, these satanic ritual abuse survivors that will tell you that this stuff is real and it corroborates. And you put it together. When there's enough people that says that something's real, you have to know that there's something going on. That they're just And people don't hear it because it gets lumped into that conspiracy stuff. It's like, oh no, it's a conspiracy thing, you know. You've heard one, you've heard them all. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on a second. If you heard one, you've heard them all. These people are talking about the same thing. This isn't like, you know, somebody's talking about 9/11 or the moon landing or anything like that. These guys are talking about these evil beings that are coming into the world that are, you know, causing these people to sacrifice children and I just had a messed up thought. I did. I just had a messed up thought. So, so they used to have these sex rituals, these sex festivals, and you know, I've talked about it before. You know, Valentine's, Easter, Halloween, Christmas. They used to have these sex festivals where you know everybody would breed so that they would have these kids, and at the next festival, they would sacrifice these children to their gods. You know, they would breed and breed and breed just so that they could have kids that they could sacrifice at the next festival. I'm surprised anybody actually lived. Holy crap! Um, they had population control back then too, but but they used to take their kids and burn them. You know that this is true stuff. They used to sacrifice their kids, pass them through fire, as the Bible says. Uh, but they used to sacrifice their kids by burning them up like that. Now, I used to work for Stericycle, which is it's a company that takes rejected goods and processes them and sends them off to incinerators to burn. One of the main reasons that I quit was I found out that one of Stericycle's practices is to go around to all the Planned Parenthoods and to pick up the aborted fetuses, the ones that weren't sold. Look that shit up. They sell aborted fetuses. How sick. Ugh. Makes me sick just thinking about it. But for the ones that they didn't sell, Stericycle would go around and pick up the aborted fetuses, and they would take them off to incinerators. And you have videos of these guys that came out that said, you know, the stuff that we're burning is terrible, and it's even worse whenever we burn the medical waste. And the medical waste is aborted fetuses, little kids. We're still doing it. We just found that we industrialized burning children. How fucking sick is that? How fucking sick is that? It's just so messed up, man. That was a thought that I just had. That's what they do. They they incinerate them. They incinerate fetuses. Then we incinerate babies. And now we've made it to where you can abort a 9-month baby. This baby's could be perfectly fine in the womb, even though they say, "Oh, we're only gonna abort the ones that we think might have a problem." It's still a living being. There's still a soul inside of this thing, and we can abort them right up to birth and after birth. They're talking about having a baby on a table and deciding whether they want it to be a viable human or not. That's literally when you listen to it, and the guy asks, you know, what happens if this thing is born, and we can't, it's not perfect. What do we do? And the doctor says, well, or the guy, whoever it was, said, well, we talked to the family, and we decide what is best for them, and they could very well just let the baby die on the table. And where does that medical waste go? Stericycle picks it up, takes it to the incinerator, and burns it. We have industrialized the sacrifices to Moloch. That is so messed up, man. That is so messed up. Oh, man, that is so messed up. I thought it was bad. I did when I put two and two together. Whenever I heard it, that when I put two and two together and heard that they were having sex at these festivals so that 9 months later at the next one they could just sacrifice the baby that they just had at the same at the new festival, it blew my mind. Or the yearly festival. 1 year later, they would sacrifice a kid. That way, they would have a whole year of whatever it was, and then if it didn't work, they just do it again. I thought that was messed up because I just thought they were fertility festivals, but then they sacrifice children at every single one of these festivals. But now it's just been industrialized. Like I said, now they will kill the baby inside the womb, throw it into a bucket, which gets picked up by a truck. They take the truck to an incinerator and burn it. Man, that's we're in a bad time of the year right now. It is April the 28th. We have what? 3 more days, 4 more days until May the 5th. 501. It's another number you need to go look for. I tell you guys look for numbers all the time, 923, of course, 911, 119. 119 is something that's been popping up a lot lately. 501, 105. It's just backwards and forwards. 42, 17, and 19 are big numbers, apparently. I don't know. But I tell you guys to go look for these numbers. Just wherever you're out and about, just look for these numbers. Um, but 501 is a number, and I never really understood what it meant until I got it put into context for me. From 323 or 322, sorry, 322, which is March 22nd, from 322 until May the 1st, which is 501. This is the season of Beltane, I think it's what they called it. It's the season of burning. This is their big rituals that they have. Easter was their big sacrificial burning rituals. That was one of them. I didn't know that until just recently. If you look it up, of all the stuff that's happened between March 22nd and May the 1st, going back, to the beginning of recorded history, you'll find out that a lot of stuff happened around this time. 420 being the big one. April 20th. There was a lot of stuff that happened. Freaking Hitler was born on April 20th. that puts the Holocaust into a whole new perspective. They would bring people through and gas them and then burn them. Now I'm not a denier. There's something happened there, and I believe it now because it was ritual sacrifice. It's exactly what it was. It was ritual sacrifice. I don't know if the numbers are what they said they were. I've seen the diagrams of the furnaces in there, and there's no way they could process. What was it? Somebody said that they had to have processed like 20,000 people a day or something. Or no, it was more than that. It was ridiculous numbers of people that they would have to process to be able to burn them. And you couldn't do that within what they had. But thinking about it in the new, with open eyes now, is that that's exactly what it was. They were gassing people and burning them. And what's crazy is that gas didn't have to kill them. Think about that. They may have been sacrificing these people alive. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, Father, give me strength. Ugh. This is so fucked up. This is so fucked up, man. This world is messed up. Everything you know is a lie. Everything. If you choose not to believe that, then you can go off and live your life until it comes and gets you, because it's going to come and get you eventually. You're probably going to be more than happy to take whatever it is they give you, so that you can continue to live your life. My eyes are open. My eyes are so open right now. That is so messed up. Incinerating babies. The Holocaust. That's just so messed up. They've been doing it for years. For as long as the world has been, they've been doing this. And we had proof that they were doing this stuff. Well, we have the Bible, whether you want to believe it or not. We have the extra biblical texts, Jasher Jubilees and Enoch. I don't know if it says it in Enoch or not. I don't think it does. It probably does. But they say that from the very beginning, they were sacrificing their children. They were sacrificing people, drinking the blood. And we know this stuff happened. And we know this stuff still happens. And yet nobody wants to hear it. Everybody just wants to go off and have their fun, do whatever. And you know what? If that's what you're going to do, then that's what you're going to do. So there's a better way. There's a better way. We can get out of this. There's a better way to live. There really is. God gave us a way out. And if you choose not to believe it, if you choose not to go for it, that's on your head. That's all I can say. This world is completely backwards from what the Bible tells us. People think that just makes the Bible inconsequential. But if the Bible is completely backwards of the way the world is, and if the world is about sacrificing people and killing people and murdering little babies, then maybe there's something to that. Makes you think. Makes you think. I can't do this anymore. I gotta stop. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched, if you didn't watch, whatever you didn't watch, you're living your life. If you did watch this, think about that. If you got up to this point, if you actually watched this whole video and got up to this point, roll that over in your head for a second. Think about that. Think about how the sacrifices work now. It's industrialized. It's sickening. It's sickening, isn't it? It's just absolutely sickening. That's true evil. That's true evil of the world. That's true evil. To kill somebody just to burn them for some fake god. Open your eyes. It's time to open your eyes. It's time to wake up and see the world for what it is. And open your eyes. Because if you choose not to listen to this, if you choose not to come awake, then you're just going to follow down the same path as all these other people. It's time to open our eyes, kids. It's time to wake up. I've been Nicodemus Kane. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't. Ponder what I said if you actually listen to it. It's pretty nuts. Until next time, I wish you all well in all your future endeavors, and I hope that the world lasts for you. God bless. Take care. Look into it. Just even if it's only just as a joke for you, take 5 seconds and just go look into it. Go look at it. Even if you're just treating it as a joke, go take a look. That's all I can say. I mean, that's really all I can say. Because you need to look at it. You need to see it. You need to see what's coming. That's all I don't know. I can't. I don't know. You're either going to do it or not going to do it. That's going to be up to you. So take care. God bless.